So I have been off social media for 2.5 years, and I can safely say that I do not miss anyone. And I think that maybe you won't miss it either. Before anything, I just want to say that I'm not a psychopath. There are many people whom I love in my life. However, the reason why I started saying this was because I think one of the biggest fears that people have when they think about deleting their social media accounts is this fear of missing out, this fear of being disconnected from their family members, from their friends. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions and one of the biggest illusions surrounding social media is this idea that you are more connected because of social media, that you are part of a tribe or part of something larger. And that's the thing. That's the thing about social media is that because you receive the likes, because you receive the comments, you start receiving this validation that sends your primal brain a message that you are being accepted, that you are part of your community. And this is one of our primal needs. We are tribal beings. We need to be part of a community in order to survive. That's the reason why we thrive as a species, is because of our ability to live in community, right? This is something that it's really important to us. It's a primal need. And one way or the other, social media is playing to that need, but it's an illusion. It's an illusion. And the reason why I'm telling you this is a really interesting thing because 2.5 years ago, I was living in a different country, attending grad school, and I was away from my family members and my closest friends at the time. And that was when I realized that there was this disconnection between the things that I was posting on social media and what my actual life looked like, in the day to day. But at the time, because I was living so far away, very disconnected, like in person, right? I was not seeing the most important people in my life. And I was going through a few difficult things, like a few challenges that it was kind of hard at the time. And I had this feeling that people did not really know what was going on with me, and I wish they did, because I've been traveling a lot for the past 10 years, and I think that I've used social media extensively to let people know, like look, I am alive, I'm well, this is where I'm doing, this is where I'm hanging out, like look this picture of this beautiful beach that I'm visiting. But then at some point 2.5 years ago, there was like this disconnection. I was struggling with a few things, but at the same time I was posting on Instagram, you know snippets of this party that I went on the weekend. And if you look at my Instagram alone, or if you looked at my Instagram alone at the time, you would have thought that I was having an amazing life, and that was not the truth. So I was starting to feel like this disconnection, which is like there's something wrong here. This is not my real life. And then the second thing that started also to happen back then was the comparison. It was killing me. It was absolutely killing me because I was in grad school, and especially in the second year, I had to work my butt off to get my degree. I was having financial issues. I was working and studying at the same time. And my friends, apparently, in grad school, were having the time of their lives. They were traveling, they were going to parties every weekend. And I had like this really tight schedule from Sunday to Sunday in order to be able to accommodate my shifts at work, and then going to classes, and doing group work, and recruiting for my job after graduation. So it was a lot, and I quite honestly was getting very envy. I was like thinking that my life was shit, And that really got to me because I'm like, I have enough going on in my life. I cannot deal with having this extra mental pressure. And that was when I decided, like, I'm gonna delete Instagram, I'm gonna delete Facebook from my phone, and I'm not gonna use it for the next, I don't know, I can't remember what I set myself to do at first. I'm just like, I'm gonna give it a break. I don't think that I thought about a specific, a specific number of months or week or anything like that. And I did that. And two amazing things happened. The first one was I was able to reconnect myself to my day-to-day life. And at the time, actually the first video on this YouTube channel, I'm talking about how I use gratitude meditations to create more financial abundance, because that was the issue that I was having at the time. And those, I was using like these gratitude meditations every morning and every night. And I tell you, I was being grateful for the simplest things in my life. I was grateful for having running water. I was grateful for my lunch. I was grateful for my pillows. I was grateful for these really small things that we take for granted every single day, but they are true blessings, right? And that make our life beautiful and comfortable and, just good. And that was what allowed me, along with not being in social media, comparing myself all the time to other people, that was what allowed me to reconnect to my day-to-day life and appreciate my day-to-day life, even though I was working a lot, I was studying a lot, I was doing a lot. Maybe my life was not as glamorous as the life of people, or the way that people were portraying their life on social media. But nevertheless, I was happy and I was grateful for the things that I had. And the second thing that happened, which is connected to the fear that I mentioned at the beginning, this fear of, well, if I'm off social media, then, important people will know less about my life, because that's common sense, right? Like, we think that if we use social media, we are going to be more connected. But that proved actually to be the opposite. And this is what happened. The people who were not important in my life, people whom I studied with 20 years ago, they vanished out of my mind. I was not aware anymore of what they were doing for Christmas, or where they visited, which place they visited for their vacation. They just vanished, and that was good. That was like more mental space for the things that matter. And the people who actually mattered to me, we started using other means of communication. So for the friends and family members who were living in a different country, in Brazil, where I come from, or Argentina, where I lived before, or whatever they were in the world, we were video calling more. We were just calling like each other, or having conversation for WhatsApp or something like that. And then they would know what was truly going on in my life, like the good and the bad. They would have like the entire story, not just, pictures of the good moments. So this is what happened for people living far away. And then for the ones living nearby, that was when I remember I started hosting like movie nights and dinners at my own place. Now, bear in mind, I did not have a lot of time. As I said before, I was working, I was studying, my agenda was very tight. But whenever I had time, you better believe that I was not, cooking people dinner to post on social media. I was cooking my friends dinner because I really wanted to spend time with them. And that created connection. And this is so funny because I remember back then, I don't remember. I think people started following my lead, because obviously I was not using social media. So I was not posting anything. Like, I was not posting, oh, look at me cooking dinner for my friends and blah blah blah. So I was not posting anything. I was fully present. We were there, at the time I was drinking still. So, drinking some wine, listening to some music, and then I'm cooking, and then we eat together and we talk. And I don't remember people posting anything on social media either. Like, I remember everyone being present. And those were like small groups of people. And I always made sure that everybody had, somebody else with whom they felt comfortable to talk. So we could have like a nice interaction together. And I have like really good memories, so that actually allowed me to connect more with people. I was going less and less to parties in which I knew that I wouldn't have a good time, and I was more and more valuing those really good moments with people, with whom I truly had this connection. So that's what happened. And that was like in 2023. I deleted the apps. I would log in, I want to say maybe every 5 months or 6 months or so, just to check if anybody was sending me a message, which happened a few times. And maybe to post something to say, hey, I'm alive. I'm, taking some time off social media, but if you want to talk to me, this is my phone. I even shared my phone number with people online on my Instagram. So I maybe, I don't know, logged in 3 times in the year of 2023 just to check messages and tell people that I was alive. I loved the experience because I was feeling so much better in my mental space, and my relationships were actually getting better, that I continued for the year of 2024, which for me was a year of profound transformation. And I traveled quite a bit. I did not post anything. And there's something to be said about that. I think that we are in an area, like, we've been oversharing our lives, right? But I think, sorry, maybe you're gonna hear some noise in the background, but stick with me, be with me here. And I think that more and more people are going to start to value privacy. And I tell you because it felt really freeing in 2024 while I was traveling, while I was moving to a different city. At the time I was in the United States. It felt really freeing not sharing with people what was going on in my life, because it was a time of change, and it was a time of nurturing a new vision, and not having expectant eyes on my life felt really freeing. And I still feel that it's really freeing that only important people in my life know what's going on with me. So that was for the year of 2024. And then 2025 arrived, and I'm like, I don't need social media at all. The people who I thought were my friends, and they did not connect with me, or I did not connect with them over the past 2 years and a half, I realized that maybe we have nothing in common with each other anymore, and that's why we're not communicating, and that's fine. So they're gone. The people who are really important to me, they are still in my life, and our relationship is stronger than ever, even like it's stronger than it was before when I was using social media very actively. So I finally decided to delete my account. So in January of this year, January was a big month of deleting things and, making big decisions. But I deleted my Facebook and my Instagram account. And then I deactivated my LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, this is really interesting, because LinkedIn, it was the hottest. Deactivating, it's not deleted yet. I still have my account, but it's not online. But that was really hard because I worked so much on my professional and academic life over the past 10 years. It's all there. Like, I have all my connections, every single thing that I did, it's listed there. I was sort of proud of my accomplishments, but at the same time, I hated using it, because I feel that with LinkedIn, the comparison is even stronger. And at the beginning of this year, I was having this conversation with my brother. We were going to the beach, and I was like, well, I just deleted my Facebook and my Instagram. I feel great. I think the next step is to delete LinkedIn. because now, I'm starting my own business. I don't think that I need to be connected to that many people anymore. I'm going to be doing something that is completely different from the other industries that I used to work in the past. But I'm afraid of doing so because who knows, right? Like maybe I might need those connections in the future. And my account was still like live. And then 4 days later, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to go a month without logging in. So I deactivated my account. That was probably like the end of January. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it for 30 days. I'm gonna be disconnected and I'm gonna be focused on building the thing that I wanna build. And it's June now, and I'm telling you, not using LinkedIn, it feels the best. I never liked the app in the first place. I don't think I need it anymore. Like, fortunately, I am in a space right now in which I'm in this place in which I'm building something for myself. So I don't feel that I need those connections. There is still like this little bit of a doubt in the back of my mind saying, well, maybe in the future you want to reconnect with someone. So I still have the account, but I am looking forward to the day in which I'm going to delete it. Maybe I'll share with you guys. So I don't miss anyone. The people who are actually important in my life, they are still strong with me, and I still communicate with them through other means of communication. And maybe you won't miss it either. I have to tell you that. Now, if you are super afraid, and I understand, like for me, it took 2.5 years to finally delete it, right? I was not using it, but I still had it just in case. So I understand, like, if maybe you just want to deactivate or delete the apps and just go 30 days. And by the way, call Newport. If you never heard of him, he's amazing. I think he actually wrote an entire book about going social media free and this idea of, this tech detox or something. And he has this program in which he suggests you going 30 days without social media. And after 30 days, you reassess what is the type of, because sometimes like maybe you need it for your business, for instance, like you cannot completely not use it, but you need to have more agency. Like you need to use for the things that are actually useful in your life instead of letting the social media, platforms control you. So you might want to check him out. I think he's great. He also has a YouTube channel. And let me know if you ever went social media free, even just for 2 weeks, and how you felt, or if you're thinking about going social media free in the future. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next time.